G'day all, welcome back to Dad vs Son. Apologies for not being around for a while, but life, the universe and everything got in the way of gaming, so I'm just getting back into it again. It had been my intent to pull out Combat Volume 2 and go straight in with the campaign. However, I had a look at it, and because it's so long since I played the game itself, I'm going to play Combat Volume 2, but I'm going to do a scenario or two first, just to get me back into the swing of things and then get used to the vehicle orders and movement and so forth as well. So I'm bound to make some mistakes in this first video for sure, but that wouldn't be anything new. So let's get into it. So Combat Volume 2 from Compass Games. We're going to play the first scenario in this, which is scenario 11, Payback Time. It's December 1944 in Belgium, and we're using map 5, The Woods, from Volume 2 as well. The little spiel is that you've been through a lot recently. You've seen friends die, and the weather is so cold that if you spit, it freezes before it hits the ground. There has been no hot food for 3 days, and your lieutenant wants you to go out on patrol. Your mood is not improved by the news that Begovic from Baker Company was found dead this morning. Just as you approach the enemy lines, you spot an enemy patrol returning through the woods and decide that a little payback is in order. So, as you can see, the Germans are diddly bopping down the road here, and what we've basically set up is a sort of modified L ambush. The enemy forces, we have blues, reds, yellows and whites. The blues have 4 recruits, 4 riflemen, an NCO and an officer. The reds have a veteran, 5 recruits, 3 rifle and an NCO. Yellow has an NCO, 5 rifle, 3 recruits and an elite. And the whites have a veteran, 5 recruits, 3 rifle and 4 NCOs. They are waiting. Their morale is normal and they are unprepared. We have 3 able team, which I've placed in the depression up here, under Sergeant Taylor, I believe it is, who's got a grease gun. He's got a little man there with the medic skill and another man with an M1. We can get into the names and that as we go along. I've given the sergeant a plan order, and his 2 troops have got hide orders. We have Baker team, and we have Private Johnson up on this little hill here. It's a level 1 hill. He's got the BAR. He has an aimed fire, and he's backed up by 2 troops that are hiding in the trees here, just to give him coverage. This fella here has a hide order, and this guy has an aimed fire order. So what we're trying to do essentially is, as they come down the road, bring them under fire like this. Then when they start to split up and that, then we can try and get around their flanks. We have 6 Charlie team down here, led by a corporal with a man that's got the medic capability. The medic is hiding. The corporal is planning as well. And I have 2 troops with M1s in the rocks here with aimed fire, again, coming up the road this way. And then I have another 2 troops with M1s here, and they're going to move around and out this way. They have evade orders. We had to set up in the 23 column or less, so that's why I've just put the dice tray there for the time being so that you can see. Every one of these stacks coming down here has 2 German troops, and of course their little scout out the front, one German troop. There are no dummies in there at the moment at all. There may be some idiots, but there are no dummy counters. Our morale is normal. We have a starting hand size of 3. The excuse me, the western board edge is the friendly edge. The eastern board edge, the right edge there, is the enemy edge, and we have 2 neutral edge. There are no neutral edges as such. We had to set up. Oh, in fact, he's too close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's good. He's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to hide him there. We weren't allowed to be within 5 of the Germans. Righto. Until alerted, we only draw the 1 enemy AI card for initiative, which I've done, and not 1 for each team. All enemy characters will move on that initiative and will follow the road in direction 4, 5, 6, 1 as per usual. So they're just coming down the road. As if they had an evade order. They still spot as normal. After an enemy character is first alerted and receives its first order, then if it's a movement order, then we roll the die 6 and we go with that. So if he had an evade 6-5 on the card and we roll a 3, then he becomes an evade 3. And that's it. If it's a fire order or anything like that, then he just keeps the order as is. So it's only for those movement type orders that it changes. Direction 1 is to the north. The wind is from the northwest. Direction 3 down to the southeast. The game is 12 turns long, and at the end of turn 4 we add 3 dummies and characters 7 and 8 from each enemy team to the cup. And then at the start of turn 5 we roll a die to see if we get German reinforcements, and then we roll another die to see exactly what they are and where they are, and that's it. We're not playing with any of the optional rules on this, which was it's too hard, tongues, night attack, vehicle ambush or snow. And victory conditions wise, we need 9 to 11 victory points just to scrape in a win. So that is that. Looking at the chart over here, so I had card 17 here, which gave us Abel at 78, Baker at 14, Charlie at 28, and it's an order to weave, -1 to hit any friendly character with sprint, evade, or run and gun order. So it doesn't really matter. The Germans got card 81, so the initiative for the first turn will be Baker, Charlie, Abel, and then all the Germans. This is the end of the game, turn 12. This is when we put the extras in, and this is when we start drawing them, so that's why I've put that there. And then we just have our ABC set out for stacking overflow. Righty-o. What else can I tell you? As per usual, because I find it difficult with the Americans being turned over to whether they're spotted or not, I'll use the red bead to mark them as they are spotted. And then once they're all spotted, I can get rid of the beads, and that's it. To keep an eye on who's activated and can do shit and all the rest of it, yellow beads go on for initiative for impulse 1, off for 2, on for 3, off for 4 sort of thing. Normal thing. Righto, I don't think there's much else to say, so let's get into it. Sequence of play. Righto, so We've already done our cards. We've done our orders. Friendly order phase, which we've done. Ta-da! Enemy card and order phase. So, righto, we've done that. So, initiative order. Baker first. So we have our 3 Baker boys over here. Now, again, I'm just going to use the laser for most times for trying to spot, and if it becomes a problem for working out whether it's a bit tight or not, then I'll use the old string pull and go from there. And I'll leave that as much within sight as I can so that you can see the dice rolls. So first Baker boy. We're hiding, so he's not going to do anything. We have an aim fire and an aim fire, so they can't do anything other than spot. So I'm going to try and spot first with Private Miller here. This is Private Moore. He's got an M1. He's also got rifle grenade. And Private Miller, who's just got an M1 and normal grenade. So Private Miller here can see this man, but can he spot him, is what it comes down to. So we have a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this guy is no order in the open, which is a 0. We have a no modifier for the distance. So it is simply a 4 or less to spot. White dice for the good guys. Black dice for the bad guys. And forever and ever. So 4 or less, and we have a 1. So we spot this guy here. And it is Soldat Summer. And he's not too bloody bad, is he? Now, who else can he see? Now, you can't see that stack there because of the trees. Okay, so line of sight. Hang on a tick. I can't remember if line of sight is blocked by individuals. So just wait one. Okay, I just want to make sure, and all it says is line of sight is blocked by blocking terrain. A person is not terrain, so he's now going to try and spot these 2 guys here. So we have a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for these 2. We have a red one and we have a white one. So we'll do the red first. Excuse me. Distance of 10, again, is a 0 modifier, with them being no orders in the open, a 0 modifier. So again, we have a 4 or less for the red fella. And he is spotted. And is Soldat Roth. And he's a good one. And then for the white one, we have a 5. He is not spotted. So still waiting. And now we can try and spot this stack here. 2 blues. We'll do this one first. And now I think we're on a -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, so it's a -1 modifier for range. So we're at a 3 or less. And we missed the first guy, can't see him. And we get a 4, so we missed both of those. Okay, next we can try and spot these little 2 here. It's going to be a -1 for range again. We'll try the yellow guy first, so it's a 3 or less. Yep, no good. Yep. So we have Obergelder gefrita. Wagner. And the red fella, 3 or less, a 7. No, couldn't see him. Couldn't spot him, I should say. Righto, next stack. Yep, we can have a go at them. So the white one first, same thing again, 3 or less. We get a 1, so we spot him. And that is Soldat Kraus. And then the red one, 3 or less, no good. Right, next. We can't spot this mob because of these trees. But we can try and spot these ones here. So we'll do the right one and then the left one. Again, same thing, 3 or less. We spot this guy, Soldat Schroeder. And nope, don't spot the other one. And then lucky last, can we? And we can. It just skips past. Oh, no, it doesn't. The trees cut it off because we're going straight down that hex line there. Righto, so he's finished as well. That's all he can spot. So then we come up to our gunner, our BAR man. So we've already spotted here. We can't spot here because we have the 1 dead ground. He can try and spot this white one here. Again, distance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's -1 for the distance. So we're looking at 4 or less. We get a 7. So no, he does not spot him. And then we try for these 2 blue ones here. Right one first. Same thing again. -1. So 4 or less. We get a 3. And we have Lieutenant Brandt, who only has a pistol, thank God. And we don't see the other fella. Right, next. Okay, so we can see him. Can we spot him? Same thing, -1. We get a 2 and spot him. And we have Soldat Kraus. And then this red one here, same thing, 4 or less. And we spot him. And we have Obergefrita Gunther with a Schmeiser. Okay, and then these 2 here. We'll do the yellow and then the white. Same thing, 4 or less. We don't see Mr. Yellow, don't spot him. But we do spot Mr. White, who is Soldat Hoffman. Right, next up. Yep, he can see the second last mob. He can't see the last mob because of the tree. But he can see here. So we'll just try this guy. Again, 4 or less. We get a 2 and we spot him. And that is Soldat Schultz. Sorry. And that is all he can do. So Bravo has finished. Okay, and we move on to Charlie. And Charlie is our people down here. So we have Private Maloney here with his rifle grenade and M1 evading, and he is going to evade. He's still in the depression. And then we have Private Hall, who also has a rifle grenade, and he's evading in the depression as well. So they can't do any spotting or anything. And we have our corporal and our medic, and they are planning and also hiding in the depression, so they can't spot anything. And then we have Private Kowalski here with his M1 with aim fire, and Private Holland with his M1 and aim fire, and he has a rifle grenade as well, which we're not using at the moment. So let us have a go with, let's see about Private Kowalski. Right, so he can see him, so he's going to, he can't see anybody else, he can't shoot at the moment, so he's done, which leaves Private Holland, who can see those guys up there, so he's going to try and spot them. Okay, so we have a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so there is no range modifier. He's a 4, so 4 or less for the right hand one. And we get a 1. And we have Soldat Huss. And for the t'other one, we have a 3, and we spot him. And that is Soldat Winter. Now, I don't believe that he can see anybody else. Trees get in the way, trees get in the way, trees, trees, trees. And that way he is finished as well. Right. Oh, which brings us to Abel over here. And they're hiding and planning in the depression there. So they do nothing. They can't see anything. They're not going anywhere. They're just hanging slack. Lovely round beads. It's also -1 degrees Celsius in here, and I don't have the aircon on to try and keep the noise down. So, yeah, it gives me a bit of the shakes. Okay, so now we're up to the Germans. And as I said, they're just going to follow down the road. So the first guy here moves 1 down the road. And now he can try and spot. There's no order for them to go in or anything else. So let's see who he can spot. So he could try and spot Private Kowalski here. A range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, it's a 0 modifier, and Kowalski is in rocks with a aimed fire, so it's a -3. And this guy is a 5, so 2 or less. And he spots him. Righto. So he's been spotted now. And that means that he is now alert. So I'm going to remove his I'm really dumb marker. And he's good to go. Okay, and now he's going to try and spot our little friend here, Holland. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a 0 modifier. In rocks with an aim fire is a -3. So again, a 2 or less. And he doesn't spot him. Righto, next. He can try and spot Private Miller here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 0. And we have aim fire in trees, which is a -2. So a 3 or less to spot him. And we get a 4, so nothing happening there. He can't spot this guy. He can try and spot our little BAR gunner up on the hill. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for a 0 modifier. And again, we're in trees for a -2 with an aim fire, so 3 or less. And he does not spot him. And of course, he can't spot any of these guys over here. So that's him done. The next two diddly bop along to there. And they try to spot. Now, they can't see this guy at all, so they can't see anybody there, but they can try and spot Private Holland here. So this guy up top will try first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a 0 modifier, so we have a -3 for being in rocks with an aim fire. So a 0, 1 to spot. And we get a 7, so nothing there. And the same again for Soldat Winter. You get a 5, nothing there. So they have not been alerted to anything because they can't see anybody. Next ones come along. Oh, sorry. They can try and can't spot there, but they can spot there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a 0 modifier, -2 for being in the tree. So a 0 through 2 to spot for the first guy. We get a 1, and our BAR gunner is spotted. Now, the other guy, as far as I'm concerned, can see him now, so they are both alert as well. Put that back there. And they are done. The next guy's moved down. Zarod. Now, they can see him, so they're going to be alerted. So I'm going to take that off because he's spotted. And then we're going to try and see this guy down here, Holland, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a 0 modifier, -3 for being in rocks. So he's a 6. So 0 through 3. And we get a 7. And 0, 1. And we get nothing. But they can both see somebody. So as far as I'm concerned, they're alerted. Okay, so they have completed theirs. Next guys move along to there. Now they can't see him because of the trees here. They can't see there. Oh, sorry. They can try and spot this guy for a -2 as well. So that's a 4 or less. No, and a 2 or less. No, so they didn't spot him. Right, these guys can't spot Holland there because of the trees. They can try and spot Miller, and they can see Johnson up there, so they're going to be alerted as well. So again, what we have is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 0 modifier, -3 for where they are. He's a 6, so 3 or less. And he is spotted. Now, they're also going to try and spot Private Miller over here. So again, that's going to be a 4 or less. No. And a 2 or less. And we have a 1, and Private Miller is spotted as well. Like that. And these guys are done. Righto, the next one's come diddly bopping down. Nobody's done any shooting or anything yet. Now, they can see him. So they are now alert. Can they try and spot anybody else? And they can't. There's nobody else to spot. So their turn is over. Next guys come down the road. And again, they can see him, so they are now alert. But there's nobody for them to spot because of trees and everything else, so they're done. Next guys come down. Same thing again, they can see him. So they're alert. There's nobody else for them to spot. Next mob comes down, same thing. They can see him, so they are alert. Nobody else to spot. And our last little fellas come down. And they can see him, so everybody is alert now. And that brings us to the end of the first impulse. Okay. Rightio. So, what are we going to do here? Okay, so we take these impulsy things off. We move up to impulse 2. Right. So, now we have to go through the same thing. So again, it's Baker first. So our little friend's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do our little friend here first. For impulse 2, and he has aimed fire with his M1. Okay. So he's going to try and fire at this guy here. A range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, for an M1, that's a 0 modifier. The target is in the open. With a no order. So that's a +1. Okay, so he's shooting for a 4 + 1 is 5. 5 or less to hit. He gets a 2 and he hits him. Yay! Okay. And he's not tough or anything else. Righto. So, dun, dun, dun. We turn the card over and we get a bad wound. Yes. Okay. Bad wound. Where did you go? Righto. So, we have a bad wound. And now he has to do a morale check. A wound morale check. Okay, so he is a 5 - 3. So a 2 or less to pass. He gets a 3, which is a fail. Let me get this right. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Larger than TQ, down 2 morale levels. Okay, so he was on normal. He goes from cautious to shaken. So he is now cautious, shaken, and he gets a duck back. Yeah, duck, 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 duck. Wrong one. Righto. So he now has a duck back order. Righto. Is there anybody for this guy to spot now? No. No. White. Can he see him? No, trees are in the way. 2 blues there. So he can try and spot this guy. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 0 modifiers. He is a 4. So 4 or less to spot him. And he does not. So he is finished. He's hiding, can't do anything. Which leaves our BAR gunner up here. Right, oh, now what's he want to do? This guy's in a world of hurt. You could try and shoot into there. You could try and take him out. BAR. Rate of fire 1 or 2. Distance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to them. What do we have here? A 4 and a 4. But we've got this soldat here, and we've got the lieutenant up here. Maybe we go for the lieutenant. This guy's got a rifle with a 6. He's more worry to me. He's got a 5 weapon skill. So I think we're going to go for Soldat Roth here. Okay, so distance-wise, 4 to 12 is a 0 modifier for the BAR. So that's okay. Rate of fire 1 or 2. Let's have a look here. This guy is in the open with no order, so it's a +1, and his weapon skill is 5. Okay, we're going to shoot twice. So, first one is a 6, and we have 5 + 1 is 6, so he's hit. And it's a bad wound. Roth has a bad wound, has to do a wound morale check. So he's at 0 through 3 to pass. Gets a 2. Less than TQ 1. So he goes down from normal to cautious. like that. And then we fire our second round, second burst at him. Again, 6 or less. We get a 0. Yay! And we do a light wound. Damn. Light wound. Okay, so he now has a bad wound and a light wound. So he does his wound morale check again. So he's now at 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4. So 2 or less to pass. He passes, so he goes down from cautious to shaken. Right. So he is like that and gets a duck back. And now, is there anybody that needs spotting that he can spot? And he can try and spot the white one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's a 0. On the road with no order. Yep, is a straight up roll of 5 or less. Oh no. Couldn't see because of all the pink mist and everything else. But he can try and spot this blue one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's going to be a -1, so 4 or less. And he spots him. And that's sold at, I think it's Barlow. He's a pretty good one as well. Right, which means he can see them. That's fine. He can't see them. Doesn't matter. Can he see that yellow one? And he can. So again, a -1. So we're looking at 4 or less. And he spots him. And that's Soldat Fisher. And those two are already spotted. So it's just these ones up the back here, which he can see. So we'll try for the red one first. Again, 4 or less. And he spots him. And that is Soldat Winkler, young Henry, and Bluey. He does not spot him. Okay, so that is Baker done, and we move on to Charlie. Righto. So our first one is our little man here who is evading out and evading out. This guy is now out of the ditch but in the trees still, so can't see anything, can't do anything. These two here again, planning and hiding, can't do anything. Which leaves these two here. So I'm going to do this guy first, and he's going to try and shoot at, can't see him, so it's only him he can shoot at. He's got an M1. Do, do, do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is a 0 modifier for range. And this guy has an order now. He's a duck back. So it's a 0 modifier for that as well. So it's a straight up roll, and he is a 4. So 4 or less. gets a 2 and hits him. And it's another bad wound. In which case we have enough to kill him. So he is dead. Okay. So I'll leave him over to the side there, put these things away. Shaken and a bad wound. And he has shot and he cannot do anything else. Which leaves our little man here now. And he can see there. And he can see there. I think we need to take out the forward ones first, so let's do that again. He has a M1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is a 0 modifier. We have no order, so that is a +1. And they're both the same. Exactly, so we'll just go for the top guy. So we're looking at a +1, so he's a 3 + 1 is 4 or less to hit. And we get a 0, so he's hit. And we get a bad wound again. Okay, so he's got a bad wound. So now we're looking at a 0-1 to pass his wound morale check. And he fails, so he goes down 2 levels. So he goes from normal through cautious to shaken. And now has a duck back as well. And he has fired. I don't think there's anybody for him to spot. Yes, there is. He can spot Blondie here. So let's go back over to our spotting chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is a 0 modifier, and they are he's a no order, so it's a 0 modifier. So we're looking at a 4 or less to spot him. A 9. No. Okay, so that's all of them done. And then we move over to Abel, who are doing nothing. And we're at 48 minutes. Wow. So I think are we going to do these guys now or not? Look, excuse me. I think we'll call it quits there, and then we'll come back with the next video to cover off the end of Impulse 2, at least, and maybe get through Impulse 3. So thank you once again. If there's any hassles, let me know. But again, I may have put up another couple of videos beforehand, so it could take a while for me to try and correct things or anything else. So take care, be good, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.